Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 15th to the 21st of May 2023. Now we have quite a lot happening this week, but first of all it's very important with these incredibly intense Mercury retrogrades that have such deep treasure to be found within them, to have a quick reflective now as Mercury goes direct right at the beginning of this week. So it's important to get to the root, because otherwise what you'll find is that issue will come up in a similar way further down the line. And what I'm noticing here is that there will be a continuation of this story in September when Jupiter goes retrograde at exactly the same degrees that Mercury has just covered. So we'll talk about that later, but very important to get to the root. So from now until the 1st of June, we have Mercury going direct again, going back over what was happening from the 7th to the 20th of April. So that first phase, what comes up, retrograde was 21 April to 15 May, and we've all just been involved with that. And then the next direct should show us the rewards, the higher consciousness. Now, as you'll remember from recent weeks, Uranus has been in the mix. So Mercury turned retrograde very close to Uranus, and last week we had the Sun meeting with Uranus. So this is really about higher consciousness, being able to change our perspective and liberate ourselves, rise out of matrix-like thinking that's keeping us entrapped and in limitation or negativity. So without victimhood, what did this story represent to you? What current events have been around in your life? What's their real root? Have you carried a problem forwards and that's just being mirrored back to you in its current guise? So we gain perspective, we get to dig up blocks and limitations at the root, raise our awareness and liberate ourselves. With Taurus, this has been a lot about self-worth, and for some people finance as well on the physical plane. But if we think about Mercury as the processing mind and Taurus being very heart-centered, we've had a chance to rewire the heart brain here. So most people think that the only brain we have is in our head, and yet we've got one in the heart and one in the gut as well. And the heart brain coming into balance is an electromagnetic harmony, really. We've been looking to find that balance. And one of the daily practices is to stay present in order to get out of the head, which is always in the past or the future, and stay in the presence and gratitude and the feeling and the energy of a chosen emotion, rather than reeling around all over the place, overthinking and being battered by a barrage of daily occurrences, which when taken on surface level can be overwhelming. So have a good look back, write down those dates, see if you can take yourself back on that journey, get to the root of what's happening now, but then see if you can find the root of where you picked up the block, limitation or belief for the first time. So often childhood and school can set something in motion that carries on through our lives. These Mercury retrogrades are our opportunity to really clear that out so that we learn and move on. So this week Jupiter moves into Taurus, and as I've said, in September we'll go retrograde over these exact degrees. So we really get the sovereignty and the majesty of the experience then. And it's worth keeping our Mercury retrograde story in note form so that we can go back and reflect at that time. So Jupiter into Taurus, clearing space. That will do some work for us on the emotional level, but also bring in more empowered thinking and attitudes and energy practices here really through this transit, which will take us into 2024. Continuing the Taurus theme, we have a new moon on the 19th at 28 degrees, so really close to the end of Taurus at 04:52 UK time. And this almost ties a bow on our current Taurian exploration as the Sun is about to move into Gemini as well. So we're really summing up all of those Taurian energies, where it is in our chart, what it's deeply meant for us, the healing, the rewards, the stabilisation really at core level. Because on the 21st the Sun moves from Taurus into Gemini. We get some very different energy coming in there, and we have an opposition as Mars has just moved into Leo and is making an opposition to Pluto. So the Sun in Gemini, as we head towards the summer solstice, the sign of Gemini brings forward the law of polarity, the law of opposites, the twins. So as we head towards the summer, with the Sun passing through Gemini, we'll be exploring the mental landscape a little bit more, where things are at odds, where opposition can be brought into fusion, and the pace will pick up a little bit as well. It's quite a speedy sign. But with Mars here at naught Leo, opposite Pluto at naught Aquarius, I find there's greater depth to the Sun's transit through Gemini, and there will be some inherent challenges that will bring up for clearing and awareness. So Mars is the lower octave of Pluto, the Earth masculine and the spiritual masculine. So the themes there could be literally battles with the masculine energy, power, struggles, challenges. Could be to do with your own power, where you direct it, use of your energy, whether it's healing or exhausting, or transmutation of the ego, which is vital as self-individuation. Pluto will bring that into higher alchemy. So what we're putting our energy into is coming from a higher place, not the lower will. So quite a lot coming up this week, really. We're summing up the Taurus journey in many ways. And now, while the Sun goes through the sign of Gemini, we'll actually be turning our attention to Leo and Aquarius 0 degrees, if you want to find that in your chart, to see what this big opposition is representing. So if you would like to work on your own chart, I am available zoehind7@gmail.com. You could do customised sessions, reading your chart, learning your chart, including tarot to bring your chart to life, and coaching to bring up these blocks and resolve them. I post these videos on my YouTube channel, Zoeastro. Please do like and share if you can, help them get out to a wider audience. And I post links on my Instagram, zoehind7, my Facebook @astrozo. So wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.